Good evening and no star, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esports Wales Twitch channel, where we have Welsh Esports League action for you. 3 days ago we had Valorant, 2 days ago we had Rainbow Six Siege, yesterday we had CS2, now we have some Rocket League. I'm Daromas, and alongside me today is Welshlaad. Welshlaad, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Daromas. And for the first game, we have the Wolfhounds versus the Pit Ponies, which should be starting soon. And the second game is the Goats and the SEA Dragons, not to be confused with the Dragons. And last but not least, the Rejects versus the Goats. What are your predictions on this BO5, Daromas?
Well, starting soon, we were starting immediately here in a pinch downfield to get us 2-0 up. I might add, I thought we were just starting on the kickoff. No, we are 2-0 up after a fantastic pitch on the goal line, 150 kph. From what I've just seen, it's got to be Pit Ponies, surely.
I didn't realize we were 2-0 up. I thought it was the kickoff as well, to be honest with you. But that's an outstanding pitch. And Corby's will bring it up the wall, using all his boost. Shot down by Sloth. Sloth taking it up the wall. No boost as well. But I do think the Pit Ponies will see this first game out, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no way, not another one. Okay, they were just flexing at this point, and it's only game one, and we're only 30 seconds in. Wolfhounds looking to try and bounce back here after conceding 2 quick goals in this first game, and Pit Ponies, well, they're just having a bit of fun on the pitch at the moment, and I don't know if your mental of Wolfhounds will be quite frustrated with what's going on right now. A bit of back and forth in the midfield, but a shot is taken on by Tung Fakir, class name by the way, as Wolfhounds trying to push forward. Sloth was saved on the goal line, cleared into the midfield.
That is a beautiful name, I just clocked. Oh, almost a third goal for the Pit Ponies. Loon taking it off the roof, but sadly hitting the post. Stipix, I think, yeah, Stipix. Trying to go for the pinch, gets the fake, 0 boost, but it is not quick succession. Loon follows up, Corby tries the rebound save, gets rebound save, rebounds back to Loon. Shot downfield, saved by last man Stipix, off the wall to his teammate. Good pass, Demo on Corbis. The shot goes in, goal from Pit Ponies. A fabulous demo play from the Pit Ponies. Stipix, well, just sliding in the net, really. A good demo play from the Pit Ponies. Forces their opponents on a 3-goal deficit, only not even 2 minutes in.
Yeah, it was a great dunk on that right-hand side corner wall. Really well played by Pit Ponies here, and Stipix taking it to the corner, beating out one man, couldn't get the second. Butlers sending that one back into the midfield. Tung Fakir. I'm just going to call him Fakir. I ain't not saying that entire thing this series. I refuse. Corby's clears it away, but Sloth immediately on that backboard, getting the pressure, and it's a misplay. It's a misplay again. Can Corby's get something to at least claw a goal back here? It's a great shot, great save. Butlers has to be there, taps it back into the inside, but it's not going to be enough. Still 3-0.
Not enough indeed. 2 very, very unfortunate misses for both the Wolfhounds and the Pit Ponies respectively. But the possession is the Wolfhounds for now. And Tung Fakir, I am going to say the full name, unlike you, because that is beautiful. But Loon will take it above Butlers. Butlers getting one slight touch, and a Stipix shot towards the goal. Off target, but Stipix will try and force it downfield again. Butlers in the air, but no boost. Corby's taking it off the back wall. Tung Fakir, I love that name. Tung Fakir, huge miss from Corby's. Stipix taking the advantage on his huge miss. But Tung Fakir does take it. Okay, I'm not saying Tung Fakir. I'm going to say Fakir as well. Sloth driving it past Corbis. Corbis, being the last man, will say no, taking it back down to reality. Butlers, no boost. Stipix, misread, does tip it off slightly to the right. Sloth, 100 boost. He will. Oh, it's a miss. Never mind. Never mind.
Bit of a weird play from Wolfhounds. You had 2 people in the same area. Sloth coming charging. He gets a demo for good measure as well. You know, there's a bit of hope for the Wolfhounds last man there to try and get the ball clear. Unfortunately, does not be the case. And I want to see a comeback here, as Stipix was AFK for a brief second there on the kickoff. Probably taking a bit out of GK's book if you've been watching the RLCS. Nope, we've got a disconnect. Okay.
This might be a rehost, I think.
I wouldn't say this late into the game, no, unfortunately. Like, we are 4 minutes. We are 4 minutes in. We have a 4-goal advantage. I'm pretty sure they can hold it. So, Pit Ponies, they do have a missing player, but I don't see any need for them to reset unless they absolutely start throwing this game. But even then, if they start throwing this game, it's on them. It's already past that 30-second threshold that's usually held around these sorts of tournaments, so we'll keep playing. Game on, 2v3. I'm pretty sure I can't see if they've rejoined.
I don't think they have they? Yeah, they have.
No, they have. We've got full players.
Right, brilliant.
So, back to normal playing then. Corby sends us to the corner, tries to get a shot of his own. Will it find the back of the net? No, it's a pinch play once again, but it's a pinch clear with the favour of blue, and unfortunately Corby's sending it back the other way again, and that is a misplay. Blue on this corner wall now, charging forward, not going to get anything out of it, and Fakir tries to get it clear, but again, Pit Ponies, they definitely have seemed to be in this game, but a consolation goal for Wolfhounds will bring their mental up for heading into game number 2.
Honestly, if I was the Wolfhounds, I would take not getting clean sweeped. A nice last second, quite literally last second consolation goal to try and even the deficit, but the deficit is a bit too large for the Wolfhounds' liking, and Pit Ponies will close out game 1 of this BO5.
Pit Ponies doing really well. We started off strong, and you could see that in the first 20 seconds. Bear in mind, they were 2-0 up at that point, and we saw 150 km/h pinch, which you don't get to see often. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen one in my time of casting, so congratulations, Pit Ponies. I've just witnessed history on my own point of view here. 150 kph, that's got some pace on it, but Wolfhounds, yes, they managed to get that consolation goal and try to bring things back. It's whether or not we can see a bit of an uptake for them in game number 2. It's going to be a struggle because they were on the back foot for the majority, but we do head to game 2 in this best of 5. It's whether or not Wolfhounds can see a quick bite back, and a good kick-off here will allow them to charge forward, but it's centre straight, and Blue waiting on that corner wall to pick up the pieces.
Pieces have been acquired. Sloth, no boost, just driving it downfield, trying to clear it out of his own half, but Balloon trying to get his own solo. He does no boost, does get the save, forced out of Corbis, but no boost for neither. And Stipix, just floated over the head of Butlers, but a last man save does stop the Pit Ponies from getting up, but a huge whiff from Butlers. Turning to Fakir, getting forced into the 1v1 shot, saved by Stipix. Stipix is trying to drive down now, stopped and halted by the Wolfhounds, but a near miss from Wolfhounds. Wolfhounds have got the strong end of this first minute, I would say, but I was, well, I can't think, sorry.
That's alright. They absolutely have had the attacking pressure in the first minute. It's been quality stuff. It's been a complete turnaround to what we saw in game number 1. It's like they dipped their heads after the 2-goal concession, but right now, holding their own. And to be fair, I think there was 2 minutes without a goal. A double commit will leave things awkward. Corby's has to tap that one up high, picking up the boost on the rotation as well, which will allow a quicker route back. Stibix will get a beat on 2. It's a double commit there from Wolfhounds. Again, Corby's just having to be patient, and this Butler actually on the front post, trying to buy his team time to recover from that mistake, with the ball trailing towards the net. Cars just flying about in front of the net, in fact, and Stibix continuing to apply the pressure. But we've seen a minute of pressure from Wolfhounds. It's now a minute of pressure from Pit Ponies, but neither team able to convert just yet.
Neither team have converted, but Pit Ponies do have the upper hand on this BO5. Are they? And it seems like they do have the upper hand, as Wolfhounds do make an accidental double commit, and Stipix just taps in what was Sloth's. He stole the goal, but either way, Pit Ponies do find the first of this second game, 1 minute 59 seconds in. Never too late to get a goal, honestly. I do see Pit Ponies maybe closing this out game, but I do believe it will be a tighter game in this second one. but Corbis is applying pressure. 1-on-3, lone man, Tung Fakir, accidentally passing. Oh, never mind. He does actually get the ball to his teammate. Soft trying to drive up the wall. 60 boost in a dream, my friend. No boost. Cut out by Butlers. Out of the air. Stipix does get the miss. Tung Fakir shot on goal. Saved by Bloon. Corbis getting demoed by Bloon. Stipix is sending it downfield. Fakir getting it off the back wall. Pass to Corbis. Corbis miss. Sloth an even worse miss. No. Fakir does get the save eventually, clearing it out of the Wolfhounds' half. Getting it out of their nest. Corbis shot on goal. Good save by Sloth. An absolute stupendous save off their own wall. But Sloth does accidentally hit Bloon. But we do not talk about that, as that was a brilliant save.
As we flick through all the camera angles here, Corby's just sat in the middle of the pitch waiting for Civics to get to that one, but it's a great challenge by Corby's here. The ball floating in the corner is pinched clear by Blue, and a good 50 as well. Corby's rotating back, trying to get... Oh my goodness, that is a fantastic angle from Blue, it has to be said. Didn't think he had the opportunity. I thought Corby's was going to get to this, and he did. It was a weird pitch, but Blue, quick speed, and absolutely decimates the last man, finds the front post. You should never be beaten on your front post, and that is the case in both football and Rocket League. 2-0 down are Wolfhounds, and that is a good catch to start off kickoff number 3. Potentially try and get something back, but Pit Ponies, they have just been the team to talk about so far in this series.
The team to talk about indeed, Daromas. But speaking about Corbis, shot on goal, saved by Stipix. Just clawing it out of the lone net. The balloon shot downfield. I can't really see who's on that. Stipix does try and get the ball back on goal. Shot. Miss by the Ponies. But Wolfhounds' efforts cut out by Ponies. Not too sure who it was. The camera angles are a bit... I think Corbis may be a bit camera shy.
Corby's now up. Touches the ball, sends it back to the corner, and Fakir has control, gets a beat on one. Really solid play there, tries to look for a second. It will bounce favorably into the mid. A shot is there, and Corby's makes it 2-1 with a chance to level the scoring. 46 seconds left. Wolfhounds have brought one back in.
Brought one back indeed. I do think they are still in this. Never give up. But 46 seconds left. The kickoff will commence in the Wolfhounds' favour. But the Pit Ponies accidentally redirected the ball to their net. But they are so lucky. None of the Wolfhounds are there. I just realised it's not Wolfhounds. I should just say Hounds. They've realised that none of the Hounds actually capitalised on the situation. But the Pit Ponies have capitalised. Oh no. Bloon, that is so unfortunate, my friend. The double tap missed. But something that isn't forgotten is the Pit Ponies. Oh, they've just all missed the ball. An absolute bloodbath of boosts just happened there. Just backflips, front flips thrown everywhere. But one man, the MVP, sorry, I'm at a loss for my words because of what just happened here. Don't really know. It was more like a wreck. But either way, Pit Ponies do get the ball in. Discovered by Bloon as he does get the third goal for Pit Ponies and may close this game out. Corbis getting the demo on Bloon, trying to get his revenge out. Will they get the last second goal? They will not. And no OT for the Hounds. Pit Ponies do take this tie 2-0, but there's one more game, match point for the Pit Ponies, and hopefully they do capitalize on the situation.
Yeah, Hounds were looking a bit awkward in terms of defensive rotation, is what caught them out a few times, and you could see that. There were times where players were in two minds to go for the ball. The double commits weren't really helping that situation that they had. Pit Ponies, they've just been up front dominant in this first series. We did have a slight chance where Corby's made it 2-1, and there was a little bit of hope in my heart that the Hounds could take this one back, potentially give them more of a fight. But we do head to game 3 with Pit Ponies having a 2-0 advantage, so it is match point, and a 3-0 sweep will definitely be something that the Pit Ponies want to get done and just, well, enjoy the rest of the evening. I don't think it'll come any simpler than this, but we do get a kickoff for game 3 underway here. And it's again another double commit by Wolfhound and Stipix to pass inside Butlers with a control touch. Just slowing the game down a little bit. Played his own pace, immediately challenged by Blue.
Immediately challenged by Blue, and another challenge from Sloth in the air. Tung Fakir trying to get it downfield. I really don't want to say Tung Fakir. I just want to call it Fakir, but I can't. It's too good of a name, honestly. But the save is forced out of Butlers. Oh, Stipix accidentally heading the ball for what an open net for his teammate. But they will forgive and they will forget, as the Wolfhounds do pump it downfield. Stipix, no boost, does get the touch though. And it is passed straight to Bloon. Bloon does get shot out by Tung Fakir. I love that name, if you can't already tell. Tung Fakir with a solo effort. Fair enough, take a bow, my friend. Tung Fakir getting it past every single Pit Ponies member. All you need is 100 boost and a legendary username, apparently. 1-0 to the Wolfhounds.
I don't think Sloth thought the ball was going to come at that pace, and it was a good scoop down off that corner to get plenty of power on it. Managing to get a touch, then finding a second touch really to allow the goal. But for the first time this series, Wolfhounds lead a game. Stop the count. Let's head to game 4, because right now, this is absolute cinema. Butlers with a 50 inside. Is anyone going to be on the end of this one? It'll be Tung Fakir to make it 2. And Pit Ponies have taken their foot off the gas, and the Ferrari tag has been ramped up here for Fakir as he finds the top right corner.
Top right corner has been found, and Tung Fakir on the double, causing absolute trouble for the Pit Ponies with that beautiful Ferrari tag, as you said. But the Wolfhounds just didn't go for kickoff. Let's pretend that didn't happen. But the Wolfhounds, I do see them taking this to game 4, but unless Pit Ponies do score! And as soon as I was about to mutter those words out of my mouth, Bloon just took them out. Blue with an absolute corker of a shot. 104 kph, just absolutely sniped it from the halfway line, leaving Pit Ponies with a goal 3 minutes 33 seconds in. The Pit Ponies may actually come back maybe! Saved by Tung Fakir, denied an egotistical Sloth. And the defensive rotate is forced out of the Wolfhounds. Both teams do miss the open ball though. Tung Fakir trying to get a touch. Good touch. Stipix does eventually miss. Blue shot on goal. Oh my god. Pit Ponies have clawed their way back in the span of 50 seconds, I believe. 50 seconds is all you need for the Pit Ponies to come absolutely trotting back, taking 2 goals for granted and saying hell no to Wolfhounds to get the 4th game. Pit Ponies really want to end this now, desperately, and they really need to score a 3rd to try and get the nice 3-goal comeback.
Yes, we're all square here. 3 minutes left on the clock, and Fakir holding that line, and it's a pass inside. It's a mistake. Corby's will get a 50. It'll bounce up high. Is anyone going to be at the end of this? Unfortunately not. Blue getting a pinch off that sidewall, sending the ball back the other way. And Stipix clearing it into the middle. A bit of back and forth action, playing a bit of ping pong here in this Rocket League match. Corby sent it back the other way once more. Sloth returns it. Fakir back to the other side wall, gets a good 50. Now this is a chance. There was a charge forward by Pit Pony, so Corby tries to go for the shot by himself. Probably had a better chance looking for the pass inside, but I respect the effort. Butlers gets a rough 50 there. It'll bounce into the mid. Stipix with a shot. Corby is going to be there to save it on the goal line, but it's a return. It's going to bounce off the post. No. It's up high, and Blue's going to drive it down. It's off the crossbar. And oh my goodness, Pit Ponies should be 3-2 up, but it's back the other way. This is exciting stuff in game number 3. Wolfhounds absolutely throw the kitchen sink, and why not provide us some of that entertainment?
Do not close your stream just yet if you're expecting Pit Ponies to get the 3-0 sweep, as Wolfhounds is still in this, and they want to remain in this, throwing, like my kind caster Daromas said, everything and the kitchen sink at the Pip Ponies. But the Ponies will try and trot their way to a third goal. 90 seconds left on the clock. Bloom taking it downfield. Zero boost cut out by Tung Tung Fakir. Tung Tung Fakir getting demoed by Bloom. Shot on target, saved by Butlers. But it does appear Sloth is going to go for the ball. Tung Tung Fakir trying to clear it. Just bump his teammate in the process. Oh, Stipix getting the third for Pip Ponies. The Ponies do trot their way. That's like the third time I've said that. That's the only thing I can think that like slightly relates to ponies. But the Pip Ponies do get a third from the main man. Stipix do get a nice 1-goal cushion coming in to the last 60 seconds of this best of 5. 2-0 for the Pip Ponies. Really want to make it 3-0. Trying to end this series out. Trying to force the clean sweep upon the Wolfhounds. But the Hounds will not give up. Butlers miss. Bloom trying to take advantage, but it does get blown up by Tung Tung Fakir. The ball is actually really nicely responded to by Bloom, as Tung Tung Fakir is trying to get the other end of it. 40 seconds left. Wolfhounds need to play, and they need it now. Corbis, not that much boost, trying to blast it downfield, but Bloom has cut out any progression by the Wolfhounds. The ball is eventually cleared out from the Wolfhounds net by Tung Tung Fakir. Tung Tung Fakir off the back wall, sorry, I keep on getting it confused. Corbis getting absolutely drowned out by Bloom. Bloom near miss on the far post. Tung Tung Fakir trying to take advantage, trying to seize the moment for the Wolfhounds, but Bloom does get 2 demos, trying to make the best of the situation, and Sloth does get the demo on Tung Tung Fakir, as the Wolfhounds do not take game 3, and a nice 3-0 sweep for the Pip Ponies has happened. 3-0, a nice 3-goal comeback from the Pip Ponies.
Indeed. Well, in game 3, I'm gonna roll off a couple to you now. If any of you are horse racing fans, the only reason I know all of these is because I've been playing a game myself recently. Okay, it was a late start. They were 2-0 down, and they ended up galloping forward and charging through, managing to get an equalize. And then all of a sudden, they found a furlong or two, and right at the end, they managed to make it 3-2 and take the series 3-0. So how's that one for you, Welshlaad? You got a couple of horse racing puns in there. I get that they're ponies. Same difference, surely.
Fair enough. You done what I couldn't. I gotta be that. I'm pretty sure everyone at home watching is proud of you, Daromas. And for the second game we have on our hands, we do have the Goats and the SCA Dragons. Hopefully that will be a good match. That is going to be another BO5. And that will be starting in around about 15 minutes. Who do you take on this, Daromas?
That's a great question. I'm gonna have to go for SEA. Just because whether my opinion matters or not is another thing in this world. But yeah, I kind of want this to be a closer series, so I'm gonna say 3-1 SEA. But Goats again, I haven't really taken a look at the rosters. I probably should have done. In fact, I'm gonna do it after this break, and I'm gonna come back to you with a proper opinion. We will catch you in about 10-15 minutes time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Welsh Esports League. Esports, well, coverage provided you by Esports Wales. And, well, we've just seen Pit Ponies take a 3-0 lead against Wolfhounds. And we now have Goats up against Sea Dragons. And I took a look at the teams, and I'm immediately going to retract my statement of who I said was going to win. In fact, I'm going to call who's going to win the entire thing. It's going to be Goats. It has to be Goats. So Welshlaad, we were sat in the break room and we took a look at the teams, and we've had a quick look, haven't we? And we've realised there's a pretty strong side in these in this league, and there's the group stages below you live as we see them as well.
Pit Ponies did take the last game. That was just broadcasted 3-0, a nice sweep upon Wolfhounds. But that does leave Red Kites without a game. I believe Red Kites are going to play the next. I don't know if it's broadcasted or not, but I believe it's going to be against the Wolfhounds. And like you said, we did do a bit of research in the break room. I was going to personally say SEA, but after a little bit of digging, I'm not because of you, I'm going for Goats as well. But they do have quite a stacked roster for this season. But the SEA did take their first game, nice comfortably. I believe it was 3-1. I'm not too sure. I might be wrong, so I do apologize. But other than that, the next game is Goats versus the SEA Dragons.
Indeed, and I'm taking a look now. The top four. I might as well update you guys on the format. The top four go to a Prem elimination, and I'm immediately cut off by gameplay footage here. But just quickly, top four go to the Premier elimination, single elimination, as Goats make it 1-0, and the bottom individual teams of the group stage, respectively, go to a champ elimination and play in a best of 5. So no one gets knocked out, and they all have something to play for. But Goats immediately getting on the front foot after 5 seconds, and yeah, I'm happy with my prediction now.
As you have just said, rooting for the Goats, and they have actually just got the first goal of this game. I believe this is actually going to be one of the games of the tournament. 2 very good rosters, but only one can succeed to the nice prize pool of £120. But Quiescent does drive it downfield. No Priest does get demoed in the back by FaZe. Don't get confused with the name. You may pronounce it as FaZe, but it is pronounced FaZe.
Yeah. Oh, what I read. It's more FaZe.
I just realized. It is FaZe.
FaZe. Sure. Okay. He has a pet peeve of it being called FaZe. That's a great passive play though, and Quiescent. We love a good name here. I'm gonna call it Quiescent. Makes it to the resident SSL in this tournament, just casually flexing that white rank that I'll never see in my Rocket League career. That's why I've decided to take up casting.
Well, you are a very good caster, I might say, but hopefully you do achieve the dreams of a nice SSL white title. And I did just realize, as soon as you said, I said FaZe, that's basically FaZe with a random accent. I didn't mean to say FaZe. FaZe is how you say the name of the Goats player, as Goats are actually tuning up 90 seconds in. And Collie will rotate back to try and get boost. Steph and Zerg trading demos 2v2 for about 3 seconds here. Quiescent getting nothing off it. Steph does miss the ball, but it does fall to Fade's tires, trying to pump it down, but it will not succeed. Fade can't get the rebound, sadly. But Zerg will try and take this on his own. Gets past Collie. Does he get it past Steph? No, cuts out any action by Steph. Trying to drive up the ball. No boost. Hazard again. Hazard and Steph are just going boost for boost. Zerg trying to take it downfield. He does, but it is cut out by Collie. Zerg trying to get the pass. 3-0. As an exceptional pass, exceptional nice 1-2 play from the Goats. Zerg passing it off the back wall to their teammate. Hazard tapping in what was a very easy goal for the Goats, as they are actually 3 goals up 3 minutes in. Oh no, that's 2. I can't read.
It is very much a rinse and repeat strategy for Goats here find a pass into open space, tuck it away, move on to the next phase as Zerg gets a good carry, gets a good 50 as well. That's going to drop straight down, but it's your fave, Collie. We do have another goated name in this lobby. We had Tung Fakir. We have that player's name as well. Zerg trying to play for time. Quisha says up high, back to Zerg, but Zerg couldn't get the touch. It was a good block by Fady. And the 50 will come through. It was just all-out pressure from Goats here. And it's just been, it was a very similar story to what we saw in the first series in Game 1. Just all-out attack, but this one seems a bit more neater and a bit more, well, articulated, it has to be said.
A bit more brutal as well. Getting 4 goals within 3 minutes. And it is 3 minutes this time, Welshlaad. Remember, you can read. And Fady trying to get the ball, trying to get a goal for the SEA Dragons, but it does not happen as Zerg pass to Quis and a nice 1-2 play. Fady cuts out all action, but is then rebounded by It's Your Fave, Collie. I love that name, but I'm sadly going to call you Collie. I did say that to Tung Fakir, but I'm going to stick by my word this time. I'm a man of my word. But Hazard does contest the open ball. Zerg does miss. One-on-one situation. Collie left with no boost. Ends up to Quiescent. Quiescent, one-on-one, tries the fake, but the fake has no effect upon Fady. Fady trying to drive it down, is cut off by Collie. Quiescent is trying to make something out of it. The ball does land to Zerg, full boost, is cut out by Steph, is redirected, but Hazard is trying to apply pressure on the SEA Dragons. The Dragons are becoming hunted in this first game, 4-0 up. But it might be 4-1, and it is 4-1. Fady does score a nice goal to get, and he's repping the Welsh banner. I love that. Anyways, as I was saying, he does get 1 goal back for the SEA Dragons. But personally, I don't think they can score 3 in 70 seconds. Do you, Daromas?
We can have faith, and we can be stupid. I think if we see score 3, it's now 4. Yeah, it's definitely delusion time now. 4 goals in a minute. I don't see it happening. SEA concede another. Goats with a fantastic amount of pressure from the kickoff, just capitalizing on any chance that they have. Probably going for a Brazil now. In fact, I probably hedge my bets more on a Brazil scoreline.
Do you know what? I see it. Oh, a near miss from Collie as the ball does hit the top post. Hazard driving the ball, really desperate to get the Brazil. But Fady just clears the ball from any danger. Quiescent trying to drive it more downfield as they can. But Zerg is trying to apply more pressure on the Dragons. Pass to Hazard. Hazard, the shot. Oh, wait, what? That was a very, 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 very near goal for the Goats, but the ball was just on the line for so long I was lost for words. But no one did end up tapping in the ball for the Goats. The Goats do try and find a 6th, but will they actually succeed? I don't think they will. But the Goats will more than comfortably close out the game, and it will remain 5-1 at the deadlock. And Quiescent trying to score another. Can they? No, the save from Collie, and Zerg did have the open net all for themselves, but the only problem is time itself. And the Goats do win the first game of this BO5, 5-1.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff from Goats. I don't think Hazard will be kicking himself too much with that missed opportunity there as it rattles off the crossbar and just tantalizingly close to going in, but it was managed to be cleared away, so credit to the defense of SEA there to manage to get that one out, not panic and just restart. But Quisha as well going for a double tap in the dying embers of that game, really trying to show a bit of mechanical flair on the pitch. And Goats, well, they're just passing it about, they're finding the space, they're enjoying the time on the ball, and it's evident on the scoreboard.
Goats have just found their rhythm, and the SEA Dragons just cannot find their own. But the clock will kick us off to game 2 as the Goats do lead this best of 5, 1-0. And Steph does get an early demo on Quiescent, trying to get some revenge from the previous game. The open net from the SEA is tucked in. A beautiful save from Hazard. And the pinch almost ends up in the SEA Dragons' net. What a save by Hazard. We were just talking about Hazard. And he did just prohibit a goal, but he cannot stop the SEA Dragons for pumping that one in from long range. Collie, the 112km/h shot from absolutely nowhere, does end up on an own goal by Hazard, but there was nothing he could really do there. The SEA do take game 2 by surprise, getting a early 1-0 lead 25 seconds in, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen indeed, and that's a send downfield after a bump. Steph trying to control the ball. It was a mistouch. Zerg up immediately, but Steph responds back on that one. No, that ball will be mine. Zerg passing that across field. Quotient managing to send it towards the backboard, and Collie just buying time. A demo does come through though. This opens up space on the back line. It's a mistake by one of the SEA players. I think it was Collie, and it's sent by Hazard into the center net from an awkward angle. And Goats equalise, and a little bit of hope that SEA had leading the series for the first time. Well, it's all crumbled here. We equalise, 55 seconds played, third kickoff. It's all about whether or not SEA can bounce back here. Quotient plays the angle of the kickoff here. Hazard did have time, but Collie immediately on that one goes for a ceiling shot play. Doesn't quite work out. Fadu the pass inside, but that bump on Steph really frustrating for SEA here as they try to charge forward. Ghost just trying to disrupt the offensive rotation. A double commit though allows Collie to get on the back end of this one, and Hazard will get the clear. A pass inside. Steph gets challenged immediately. It's good defensive play, and now the counter is on. Collie, the good recovery off the backboard, sends it back into the blue heart.
Brilliant recovery from the SEA Dragons indeed. But the SEA Dragons will keep on playing at pressure, trying to fix the wound that was the first game. Zig redirecting the ball from their own net. Hazard just trying to follow up, does get the fake with 0 boost, but Collie is there to try and avenge the first game. Collie does get a fake on Quiescent, but Quiescent does get the perfect read, but does waste all their boost. Trying to get some more boost. Steph the pass to Collie. Collie over Zerg. But Zerg will keep on pressing like an absolute madman. Collie does lose the 50 by Quiescent. Quiescent getting the ball back off the board, and the goal for Zerg does happen as Zerg gets the perfect end of an absolute masterclass from Quiescent. Quiescent is bringing that ball from their own half, getting it off the backboard and redirected perfectly for the Goats to tap in a nice, comfortable goal. An absolute brilliant solo play from Quiescent does get the Goats the nice 2-goal comeback. I almost said 2-0 comeback then. But the Goats do get a nice 2-goal comeback. But there still is 3 minutes left in the game. But Zerg is just trying to press like an absolute button. Quiescent not giving up. Collie does get the better end on Hazard's 50. No one's left at net. Zerg gets to rotate back, steals the boosts off SEA Dragons, and the ball is haywired into absolute nowhere. Hazard does pick it up from the Goats' zone half, is cut out the air by Steph.
Press like an absolute button is definitely something I'll be using, just because of how much it caught me off guard when I heard it. 2-1 to go to 2 minutes 10 left. Off the backboard it's played. Collie managing to get to that. Hazard though will immediately intercept. It allows more attack and pressure. Hazard goes for it by himself, but Collie now up, sends it towards the backboard. Zerg's going to be there, controls it, has a chance here to carry it downfield. Cross map, air dribble, flip reset active, but it is going to be blocked. Fading out, taking the corner. No boost to work with though. We'll have to play a 50 here, but Hazard comes charging in, immediately blocks. Steph there waiting on the front post, gets the save. It's a pass inside once more though. We've seen that a lot less this time by Goats in this series. You can really see how SEA have ramped up their play, blocking these infield passes, but Steph now has a chance. Full tank and boost to work with. Denied with a demo. Tap off the backboard. Zerg. Pass inside. That was an opportunity for Vady, but unfortunately it just didn't come to fruition. Kept low by Collie landing on that one. They are trying to find something. They're trying to find an offensive play, but that's a pre-jump by Zerg there. Allows Steph to carry this one 50 up high. Hazard now on the sidewall. Gets control. Tries to go for a flip reset. Doesn't work out. Drop down now into the midfield. Collie gets a 50, but again, it's quick plays by Goats, and it's keeping them in this just about. There's a bump but all things considered, it's just been stuck in the midfield for 30 seconds. Really good time management by Goats.
SA Dragons trying to reignite what was their perfect start. Trying to whack the ball down does not happen as Hazard denies any transmission. Hazard does, it's all been Hazard really. Hazard is getting absolute possession. The pass from Zerg to Hazard, but Collie does read it out and sniffs it and gets gone of the ball. Collie just not giving up. Fady does assist Collie. Steph taking it down to the Goats' behalf. Hazard still trying to clear the ball from any danger, trying to get and trying to keep the 1-goal cushion. Zerg shot off target. Fady does recollect what was Zerg's seconds. Zerg just trying to press, and like you comically love, press like a button. Save from Collie. Steph trying to get the SEA Dragons, trying to reignite one more goal, trying to keep the ball up, but it is shut down by the Goats, as the Goats do get a nice 2-goal comeback from what once was a perfect SEA Dragon start, but the Goats do take game 2.
Yeah, they do indeed, and it looks like SEA have turned it up a notch. That, or Goats have dropped it down a little bit. I can't say the latter for sure, but SEA, they've come out fighting, kicking, and screaming in game number 2 to make it a much closer scoreline. It was only a 1-goal game in this one instead of the previous game where it was 4, so they are looking to try and get something here. They're there, they're getting goals. They're trying to break down this Goat side, and to be fair to them, the rank disparity, it's evident, but I wouldn't say it is too much. They are giving Goats a good run for their money here.
They are indeed, Daromas, but this will be match point for the Goats, and hopefully SEA can get a nice 3-game comeback, but personally I don't think they will. But SA Dragons will have to throw everything they have, all boost, all passion has to go into this match, and they have to win this, otherwise they are out of this first week of Rocket League. But honestly, I reckon Hazard played absolutely beautifully there, but we do still have one more game on our hands. I mean, potentially not one more game, as obviously the SA Dragons could get a 3-game comeback, my apologies, but personally I don't think they will.
Just gonna reiterate here, I don't think anyone gets eliminated this week. As dramatic as that would be, I'm taking a look here at so there will be all 6 teams, but to be honest, we will see. We will definitely see SEA Dragons through if Rejects struggle to beat Goats, and we have to see the side that Rejects are looking to perform. And if Rejects struggle against SEA Dragons, then I'm willing to put the bet that Goats will top the group. But game 3 taking a bit of time here to get underway. Don't know what's going on with all the players at the moment, but just taking a look at these sides. Then the other side of the group stage, matches are still to be played out. We will get the score to you when possible. But on the other side of the bracket, then the current game that is being played is Red Kites versus Pit Ponies. Pit Ponies obviously taking a 3-0 win against Wolfhounds. Will Red Kites give them a run for their money? We haven't seen them play at all this week so far, so this will be a good opportunity to sense the strength of their side on that side of the group. And the final matchup that we'll have for you today will be Rejects against Goats. So unfortunately, we could be seeing potentially more Goats, just dominant fashion. But I'm getting word from the producer in the background, Kashi, that there were connection issues, and we will be heading into game 3 shortly, so just bear with us for a couple of moments.
It will take a while, but we will try and get this underway. But new roster information actually from the SA Dragons, as they did acquire a new coach, and he has strictly let us know, not strictly actually, that's a bit harsh, but he has let us know that his name is Faizi, and he is actually the British college champion, I think, or something like that. They were heading to the finals. Me and Daromas had a look in the break room of the first game, but hopefully we can get the third game underway very, very soon. But like Daromas said, our lovely producer Kashi has let us know that there is some connection issues that hopefully we can resolve quite quickly.
Yeah, so British Esports Student Championship finalist, I think it is, for Faisy. So very well done. But we are heading now into game 3. We have got word, and we are looking to get underway here. Kickoff underway. 2-0 to Goatstein in the series. But it's all or nothing now for SEA in this group stage match. They're going to try and charge forward, try and get something, trying to get a point on the scoreboard. And that is a way to do it. Fady pinching in the corner with one of the Goats players to give themselves an advantage. And we've seen this before. We saw this in game 2. But can they hold on? They need to get a second. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
That was a brilliant pinch from Fady. But like you did reiterate in the first game, but I'm going to have to cut myself off here as Quiescent does get a nice absolute ball just sent down into the SA Dragons' half. Steph trying to get on a solo run. He does. It is cut out by Quiescent. The save is forced out by Hazard. And the ball is now in the SA Dragons' hand. But the SA Dragons has had an absolute wonderful start to this third game, my apologies. But they need to, as the Goats, like Daromas has said, they are 2-0 up. They are one game off while winning the series. But hopefully SEA can climb their way to a 3-game comeback. And like what has just happened, Fady with an absolute corker of a goal, pinched off his arch nemesis Zerg, and the shot, the ball is loose. Good shot from Hazard, an even better save, an even better read from Steph. But the Goats are trying to press as much as they can, trying to make sure they do get a goal back as they did in the second game. Like I was saying before, I was cut off by an absolute brilliant ball from Quiescent that the SEA Dragons did end up getting the first goal in the second game, but they did eventually lose the second game due to a miraculous Goats comeback and a brilliant game of Rocket League played. But we do have one more game of Rocket League on for you at 8:30, and it is also the Goats again versus the Rejects, which we haven't seen play tonight. And hopefully it will be a decent game. Hopefully it will not be a clean sweep.
Just a bit of history for you then on this Goats roster. You have Zerg, who is brand new to this side, by the way, and Hazard and Quiescent. They've actually played together before for none other than Pip Ponies that we saw play earlier. So there's been a couple of roster changes bouncing about in this league. And, well, as you can see, the chemistry on the pitch is definitely something to behold. And Zerg adapting themselves quite well here in this game. And that's a great double tap to even find the space. There were 3 players in net, and you've got to argue that has to be saved by one of the SEA players. But Goats make it level. 2 minutes 38 left to go, and SEA, they cannot dip their heads now.
Goats, even if it's the most simplest goals, even if it's goals that were arguably the SA Dragons' fault, the Goats will take them. And I do believe at least one of the SA Dragons members should have saved that. And a huge miss error from the SA Dragons. Zig popping the ball by himself, hitting the ball wildly. And an own goal and a miscommunication from Collie and Steph. I believe Steph tried saving the ball, but Collie did eventually. The ball did hit their respective bonnets, and I believe that is a Team Dignitas camo, which is a nice throwback for you lot. And I can't even get a word in as Zerga scored a quick second due to a nice kickoff goal. Perfect kickoff for the Goats. And Zerg, oh, and it's another own goal, but this time it is Fady. I wouldn't really count as an own goal, really. Fady tried saving the ball, but it did end up in their respective bottom right net. And Hazard still trying to get more momentum. Will they find a fourth? No, they won't. Fady makes up for their own mishap on the third goal. My apologies. Cardi just pressing. What? And press indeed. We have an absolute corker of a game on our hands here.
Huh? Collie gets it knocked past. Hazard just goes, yeah, I'm just gonna take my bags and leave. I'm just gonna disappear off the pitch. You know, nothing to see here. Just backflips away from the ball completely. It's back to 1, and when I thought SEA were falling behind, a kickoff goal has just been provided, and we're all square. 2 minutes 11. Still plenty of Rocket League left to be played in game number 3, but Steph will take a goal after what is essentially a perfect dead ball kickoff. And we're all tied up. Kickoff number 7 now in this game. This is the most goals we've seen in a game in this series. As Quasha tries to find a double tap, manages to tuck it through 2 players, and Goats take the lead once more.
I am at an utter loss for words at what just happened in this 2-minute mark. I have no clue what has just happened. I cannot put it into words. What Goats were up 3-1. SCA Dragons do get 2 goals back, making it 3-3, fueling their burning passion to take this to game 5. And I will be cut off by Zerg, who does get his hat trick for game 3 and does get a nice solo effort, nice double tap off the backboard, and does get a 5th goal for the Goats and the 8th goal of this series and the 9th kickoff of this game 3. But I seriously cannot put into words of how good of a game this is.
We could be seeing a 10th kickoff here. Steph manages to control the ball, fakes out on one, but Cretion's there on the back line, and it is a pinch downfield. Rapid pace on that one. Hazard couldn't find the angle. Don't blame him, really. The rate of knots that ball came off the backboard. It was going to be difficult to get anything on it, so credit there. Bounces now into the mid, and SEA, they're going to have to throw everything at this now, but they are held back, and that is popped up high by Collie and Fady. Left a bit awkward there on the corner. You can't be making mistakes like that. Not at this point in time. Quishan doesn't have a free backboard. Fady's there to get that clear, and a demo comes through as well. But Zerg's going to be immediately on this. Fakes it out. Gets a pop up high. Tries to control it. Fakes out one. But Fady's there. Sends it long. Is Hazard going to backflip? Not quite. Does get the save. Tap off the backboard. There's going to be a follow-up by Fady. And it's going to be a pass back to Steph. But Steph couldn't really do much with that one. Low on boost and couldn't really work with it. And that is a mistake by SEA. A double commit. Flounders the ball in an awkward spot. Zerg gets the ball, somehow manages to keep himself on that one, and he's been the annoying player, it has to be said, throughout the entirety of this series for SEA, as they struggle to break this high press. We have seen plenty of goals in this game, and plenty of entertainment, but I feel like Goats now are just going to close out the series. Great save by Collie though, and it's a pass inside now. Steph has a chance. Squandered, tap into free space.
Steph is trying to get the ball back, but I don't think they will get the game back, as the SA Dragons are 2 goals down, a potential goal in our hands, but a nice save by Hazard. Hazard just trying to waste time. The ball, and he does miss, but Zerg does get his 2nd, and game 3, or should I say, Goats' series has been taken, and the Goats will win this game 3, 5-3. An absolute corker of a game we had there. SCA Dragons being 2 goals down, well, being 1 goal up at the start, but end up being 2 goals down, climbing the way to a comeback. Berserk Hazard just shuts down any competition from the SCA Dragons, and they do take game 3, and they do get the nice clean sweep.
Yes, back-to-back sweeps on stream. It hasn't been the most, well, I mean, I say that. It's been 2 quite entertaining series with respect to how it's gone. We say back-to-back sweeps, but it could have easily, on a different day, we could have had 4 games, maybe even 5 in this series alone. SEA have now dropped 3 points to Goats, and Goats now will try and, well, basically push to get that top spot and get a better seeding for the knockout stages, and I think it will happen. Rejects struggling to get a result against SEA. You gotta think Goats will probably do well, and they will be next on stream. But Pit Ponies, they lose to Red Kite Esports. I think it is. I think that's what the result was. Yep. I think that's what the matchup was. So on that side of the bracket, it's looking very interesting, in fact, for that fight for the top seed in Group A. But Wolfhounds and Rejects, they're going to have to really step up in the next couple of games, in the next game even, to get something out of it. But your take, Welshlaad, as we head to what is going to be the final game of the night?
The final game of the night is going to be the Rejects versus the Goats, and we have just seen an absolute masterclass from the Goats, and hopefully they do live up to the hype of what was a brilliant second series of tonight. But the next game will be at 8:30, and like I've just said, it will be the Rejects versus the Goats. We haven't seen the Rejects tonight, and we are going to see plenty of the Goats in this next series. But one thing I am certain on, I'm not certain on because it's going to sound a bit rude, I do think Goats are going to clean sweep again. We might see a nice back-to-back-to-back clean sweep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to disappear once more, but in about 15 minutes time we will have the final game for you in the group stages. So stick around for that one. We will be keeping you updated with the other game as well, and obviously we will show you who will qualify to the Premier Knockouts, and will drop down to the Champ Elimination Final. So we will catch you guys in 15 minutes time for that. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final group stage game of the Welsh Esports League Rocket League tournament. And well, we've had some entertainment, we've had some ups and downs, and we've got plenty of goals tonight, but it comes down to this final game for seeding GOATs up against the Reject for you. We were discussing this before we wrap things up, and well, we said it could be an even more one-sided affair for GOATs because they're a strong side. They're arguably one of the best sides of this tournament. I haven't taken a look at Red Kites at the moment, but they also dominate Pip Ponies 3-0 as well. So we could be seeing an interesting matchup next week, but as of right now, we will be heading into the first game of this series, and Rejects getting the strong kickoff to start.
But with some more group history for you lovely lot, the Rejects did lose their first game against the SCA Dragons with a 3-0 sweep. And obviously, as we've just seen, GOATs did get the 3-0 sweep on Dragons, and I'm going to have to stop myself from yapping here, as a nice shot from Hazard. The miss, but also the save from Quiescent does end up in Hazard's front tire and does end up in the net with only 20 seconds played. But back to the group history. It is Wolfhounds versus Red Kites on in the background. And I'm pretty sure if GOATs win this, the Rejects will go pointless.
Yes, they will, but it's not the end of the run for them. And this Hazard gets a pitch off the sidewall from one of the Rejects players. That is disgusting to make it 2-0. Just played it perfectly, it has to be said. 108 kph, and as we were talking about it, Rejects, yes, they will be going pointless, but their tournament run doesn't end there. They will be in the champ elimination phase and battle it out in a best-of-5 final against the guys who finished bottom of Group A, which, no disrespect to Wolfhounds, it might be Wolfhounds, but that will just be a good matchup as well in its own right. And I like this format for that reason. I feel like you will see some pretty entertaining matchups throughout the board as the championship progresses. Zerg now carrying flip reset, denied by Dark Phantom here. Hazard off the corner wall, pass inside. Christian, patient as you like, heads back to his own half after a long ball clear by one of the Rejects defenders, and his pinch downfield. 1v1 here, low on boost. We'll look for the pass inside, finds the bump. Hazard just has a tap in. Or not. What? Hazard? Excuse me?
Don't know what's just happened there, but Hazard is just trying, but he brings the ball down. Does try and pop it over Atrin and Phantom, but he's sadly come out. Quiescent trying to pump the ball downfield, trying to catch Rejects off guard, but Welsh Blondie will try and clear it out. Phantom does lose the 50 on Hazard. The ball missed by Quiescent, a nice rebound, and it does fall for the Rejects. But Welsh Blondie cannot finish the dinner, and Hazard will just progress slowly. Does not fly over action. Quiescent on the wall does miss the ball, but the ball lands straight to Zerg. Zerg is in the air. 0 boost in a dream, my friend. Does get the flip reset, but does not get Welsh Blondie's goal of approval. But Hazard just trying to control the midfield, and he does that brilliantly. Quiescent, nice breakaway. Nice double tap off the backboard for Quiescent. Quiescent does nick possession. Well, I should say Zerg nicks possession of the Rejects. And the ball does end in Zerg's teammate's car. And Quiescent just drives it on to the Rejects backboard and does get a nice double tap onto the GOATs, onto the Rejects net, I should say. And the scoreline is 3-0 coming in to halftime. And never mind, I take back what I said. Zerg getting a fourth just before the 2:30 mark, and a very bad miscommunication for the Rejects does allow Zerg to tap in a nice, sweet, succulent goal and makes it 4-0 for the GOATs.
Just casually freestyling at this point are GOATs, just enjoying the time on the ball that they have. Rejects struggling to really get forward at all in this series. First time we've seen the ball consistently in the red half where it just hasn't been banged clear, but Zerg looking to deny that. Christian looking for a pinch, but it heads backwards after a challenge by Trincent as Welsh Blondie taps us with the sidewall, immediately denied by Christian, and Hazard with a misplay allows the ball to float dangerously in the blue half, cleared away to the other side, and Atrin Client is the name there. I'm just going to call him Atrin for the sake of my voice. Did get a touch there, but Hazard now sending it back the other way, and it's all been goats in this game. It's kind of what we predicted, wasn't it?
It was indeed, Daromas. But who knows, the comeback's still on and never be in doubt. But me personally, I'm at a tiny bit of doubt. As Zerg does get the ball, tries to get out of his half, does get the flip reset, does get it over Atrin, but Phantom shuts out any danger, keeping the ball in the goat's half. Blondie, accidental pass to Zerg. Zerg does get the ball to get to Quiescent, but Atrin does get there just before Quiescent does manage to get the save. Hazard just trying to collect the ball, trying to get it back into the mixer, but it will not happen as Welsh Blondie says no, denies the mix. Good pass. This will be a 5-minute play if the ball goes in, but it's not. The double commit from Quiescent, and it does hit the backboard. A near miss. Welsh Blondie trying to get it out of the rejects' half, but Hazard is trying to shut down any recollection. Zerg just pressing like an absolute madman. I don't really know what he's doing. Does get the pass onto Hazard. Hazard does win the 50. Quiescent back to Hazard. Beautiful pass from Zerg. Save from Welsh Blondie. The ball does get missed. Quiescent trying to finish the goats' dinner, but they cannot end their prey on this 5th goal. But they are struggling and they are trying to push for a 5th, trying to boost their ego heading to the 2nd one, as I'm pretty sure the goats have taken this 1st game from the rejects, swiped it straight out of their hands from kickoff. As soon as they scored that 3rd goal, I apologize, you knew it was going to be the goats, and the 5th goal is finally here. The goats has persuaded the rejects to just quit in this 1st game. The 5th goal from Zerg, I'm pretty sure that's his hat-trick on the 1st game as well. And Zerg does finish up what was a rejects mess, as they are rejected from the 1st game.
Yeah, they're rejected from scoring a goal at the moment, and rejected from really seeing the red half as well, as the ball does eventually find it. As Hazard just keep this ball up. Phantom with a pass inside. Potential chance for a consolation was not to be. Goats 5-0 to the good in game 1, and I'm gonna have to say, for 2 minutes of that, it was just goats looking for passive plays, looking for clips to put on the non-existent socials. I'm pretty sure, like on Twitter. I assume they would have, but yeah, they were just going for clips, clip farming.
I did find the Twitter in the end, but the one linked on the WL website is, I don't think it works, but I did find it in the end, and yeah, a nice, what's the word for it? A nice comfortable 5-0 victory for the goats. But never be in doubt, the goats did get a nice, I believe it was a 4-1 win on their 1st game against the SCA Dragons. The SCA pressed like an absolute madman, trying to get it. Did actually get a 2-goal lead in the last series, but they did not succeed in getting it to a 4th game. And the goats are trying to get their nice 9-0. I believe, how would you say it, considering they won all their games due to a clean sweep?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a clean sweep. A clean sweep would be if no team could score a goal at all. And I feel like we could see our first clean sweep tonight right at the end here, as Zerg is in the Batmobile, finds the first goal after 5 seconds. And yeah, okay, we are memeing right off. Is that a Merc? Hazard's in a Merc. They are memeing on the rejects right now.
They are the pinnacle of clip farming, but it has actually worked out in their favor. I don't know how. I don't know why they're doing it, but clearly something's working. The Arkham Knight is putting in the effort. Zerg in the Batmobile and Hazard in the mid. Quiescent still in the Octane, so at least they're not trying to clip farm. But Zerg does try and get the pass to the MiG, but I don't think you can pass that one in the Batmobile. Atrin forced into a save. Is Quiescent in the air? An open net does miss. Zerg Does he get it in? He does. Zerg did miss the open net due to insufficient power on the ball, but they do get the double tap off the backboard in the Batmobile. Just about a very slow shot hit from the bottom of Zerg's car, 40 kilometers per hour. Not the speed you want on a goal, but when you're that close, any speed will do. The Goats are actually 2 goals up, 40 seconds in, and they might even be a third. Quiescent past to Zerg. Zerg in the air. The shot from the mix. Save from Dark Phantom. Quiescent going for the pinch. Does still end up getting the ball due to a bad pass from Phantom. Zerg passing the ball back to Quiescent. Quiescent no boost. The miss comes out from Quiescent. Hazard is going to press like an absolute button. I stuttered on my own words there. Zerg trying to push, trying to find more, trying to find a third, getting a bit greedy for clips as well. But you can never be greedy when you're the Goats. Quiescent does get the third. No, he does not. I take back what I said. An open net for Quiescent is hit out of both posts. I believe that was the top post and the far post. But it is just out of the net. It is getting haywire for the Goats. The Goats is pressing, just trying to find a third. Zerg not giving up. Neither is Hazard. That ball is perfect. Hazard is not there in time. Zerg pressing with 0 boost does let Hazard go for it.
Just want to say, credit where credit's due for Rejects. They are holding off this Goats side. As I say that, they tap one into their own net. I'm so sorry, Rejects, if you ever look at this game back. That is a pure caster's curse as Phantom. I think it's bumped into the play. No fault of their own there. 3-0 to the good hour Goats. And as I was crediting Rejects' defense, I will go back to that point because it was a bit unfair. They are holding strong. Okay. Thank you, Atrin. I'm just going to stop talking about the defense of Rejects. Goats just trying to flex at this point, and quite frankly, I'm scared for Rejects and what the future 8 minutes of Rocket League have in store for them as Hazard gets it down with the back line, but Zerg sending it back. We see with a pass, a crossover to Hazard, intercepted by Blondie and Zerg now on that sidewall. 50 boost to work with, flip reset activated, gets the pinch down, but a good save by Phantom there. Takes it to the sidewall, will go for a play of their own, looks to try and find it, gets a... There's pandemonium on the back line, and there goes the clean sweep for Goats after... What, there was a charge down by one of the Rejects players there? Yeah, Atrin managing to get a bump on Quiescent there. Really well played, solid counter-attack, and they get their first goal of the series.
Honestly, the Rejects defense is not supposed to be talked about, but the counter-attack is something to be acknowledged. That was a beautiful play from the Rejects. Dark Phantom just pumping the ball down, like trying to get on target. It is on target. Atrin getting an absolute perfect last-minute bump, but I will cut myself off as the Goats do score a fourth. The Zerg does get the ball. Quiescent does miss Hazard. The nice little pre-jump does get the ball into the Rejects' net and does reject them from getting a nice bit of, what's the word called? A nice bit of, like, I can't think of the word, honestly. Nice bit of, like, nice run, but it's shortly ended by the Goats trying to get a bit of a lead back, trying to get a bit of clips as well. Quiescent just pushing, does get the fake, does get the flip, but it's not on target. It is left for Atrin. Atrin redirect, almost an own goal from Welsh Blondie. That got a bit scary on the back lines then, but it might be a caster's curse. But the Rejects' defense is nothing to be talked about. Zerg pushing, pumping, 0 boost. Nice bump play from Quiescent. Zerg does score in a nice Batmobile. Zerg from his own goal, getting it past Phantom, but Phantom would have saved, but Quiescent denies. And a beautiful bump play from the Goats as they are goated. I get it, that was such a bad pun. But the Goats do get a nice 5-1 lead in this game.
Thankfully, I'm going to let that slide. No. Blondie taps that one up towards the backboard. Zerg, Evil Emperor in the Batmobile, gets denied on the sidewall. Bit of pressure from Rejects, but nothing to be had out of that one. It is a bump again. We saw one bump play from the Rejects. We're now seeing several from Goats. I'm not sure they're exactly happy with that bump play, but Zerg now goes for flip reset. We'll probably get a shot on here. Bounces up high, but that is a good reaction from Atrin. to get that one clear on Blondie with a good recovery as well to get the follow-up touch. Phantom, low on boost, tries to play a little 50 there on the sidewall, doesn't work out. Atrin just manages to bump Christian again. They're having an absolute rivalry on the pitch right now, regardless of the scoreline.
But the GOATs are trying to remain the leader of this, but Atrin shutting down Hazard. Quiescent trying to find a 6th. They might. They will not. Actually just pumping the ball down, trying to get another goal back for the Rejects, trying to get 2 consolation goals in total. Phantom just absolutely bumped the living hell out of Quiescent, trying to get some relief on the frustration that is on getting a 5-1 scoreline. So just keeping the ball in the air. Tries to get the pass to Hazard, but that's what you get for being in a lurk, my friend. I'm sorry, that cat is horrendous. And Crescent does get the 6th for the GOATs. The ball is flicked up by Quiescent. Nice, beautiful control. Does get the redirect towards the Rejects' net. And I do believe they will finish the game 6-1, unless we might see the first Brazil of tonight.
Yeah, we have 10 seconds before we book a flight to Brazil. Will it happen? They're going to have to keep this ball up if they want it. That is a good touch. It will be an opportunity. It bounces up high. Crescent, man, to get on this one, gets a flippy set up high. Hazard with a shot, will find the back of the net after Crescent's follow-up. And we will be taking a trip to Brazil, 7-1 on the scoreboard. Right on 0 time as well. Phantom couldn't really do much. A double jump probably would have done better than nothing there. But GOATs take game number 2 way comfortably than they did with game number 1. But that clean sweep is out the window with that goal from Phantom.
Zerg getting 4 goals in total in game 2, and the result does happen. Me and Daromas are currently booking our flight to Rio de Janeiro, but something that will happen is game 3, and hopefully the Rejects do get a bit of a momentum back. But it is an absolute beating as they do get Braziled by the GOATs. But hopefully, like I've just said, they try and get a bit of momentum back, they try and get a bit more passionate, they try and press more, and hopefully they try and defend as well.
Hopefully so, but game 3 underway. We're going to have to see something spectacular from Rejects to take a game off GOATs, let alone beat them in a reverse sweep as Christian carries this forward, gets a flip reset, beats out 1. The Dark Phantom waiting patiently. Zerg still... Nope. They're still in the back? Or are they back to the Fennec? No, wait, no. Zerg was in the Batmobile. What car's he got now? I'm trying to figure it out. I think he's back in the... No, he's not. He's not in the Fennec. No. No, that's not the Fennec. I don't think it is. I think there's some live player cam on that one, but Hazard pops it up high here. Zerg. No, it is in the Fennec. Never mind. Gone back into full sweat mode, apparently. They memed on one game, didn't want to meme the second as Atrin pushing forward. Doesn't get the beat out. Hazard will get a touch. Dark Phantom sends it up high, and Zerg left stuck to his own device in the corner. Will continue going forward. Doesn't get the flip reset, so Atrin will send that towards the backboard. Welsh Blondie gets a chance at net, but Christian doesn't get bumped by Atrin this time. That rivalry has been back and forth throughout the entirety of this series, regardless of what the scoreline has said. And it's honestly been quite entertaining. A great pass across. Good save by Hazard there. And to be fair, 0-0 after a minute 10 is the longest Rejects have gone without conceding a goal, and credit where credit is due. Absolutely a drop down by Phantom will leave things awkward as Zerg gets a challenge. We'll get another touch, and Blondie is sent back in down towards the red side. It is a 1v2. Zerg went for his solo, didn't work out. It's flailing about here as a pass inside is made.
Make it a minute 40. The Rejects is the longest they've held up against the GOATs in this series, and I take back what I just said. The GOATs do score the first of this match. 1 minute and 49 seconds in. A beautiful pass from Hazard. A nice team play from the GOATs to show why they are GOATed for this very reason. A beautiful pass from Hazard to Queensen, and they do tap in the goal for the GOATs. And Hazard does win kickoff, but no boost, does leave it for Zerg's behalf. Just pressing up the wall, does get it past Welsh Blondie, does get the double tap. No, the double tap is shut down by Phantom. Queensen just presses, and the press works. A beautiful double tap. What an angle, what a What a play from Quiescent. That's why you never give up. The beautiful double tap off the backboard does trickle in the back of the Rejects nets. And they do concede 2 goals in 20 seconds, which is something you don't really want to be proud of. But credit where credit is due. This is the minimalist scoreline within the 2-minute mark. But they ain't even doing too bad. The Rejects are still in this. I do believe they're still in this.
They very much are. 2 goals is, well, they'd have to score. They'd have to double their scoring of what they've had in this series so far. Or triple it even. Triple it, in fact. As, well, we're going to have to see something here. Halfway point reached. And Welsh Blondie finds the top left corner. That's an absolute worldie of a strike. There's so much power on that. And yes, they are back in this. Halfway point reached. Blondie, perfect positioning, finds that crossbar drop down. 2-1.
That is a beautiful goal. Dig that out of your net. An absolute strike from Welsh Blondie. What an absolute shot. That was a fast shot. Positioned perfectly. The ball just elated into that top left corner. But the Goats are trying to press, trying to make up of what was a 2-goal cushion is now only a 1-goal cushion. As they do say, 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline in any sports. Phantom trying to press, but it does not succeed. Hazard getting it over Phantom. Hazard does get the flip reset, but does it connect? No, it does not. Zerg leaving the ball for Quiescent. Shot off target, saved by Blondie. Quiescent does try and get the ball back in the mixer. It does not work as Phantom is pressing like an absolute madman. Phantom does get the bump on Zerg. Zerg does not give up. Actually needs to realize Zerg is pressing. Zerg is lurking. Zerg is there. Beautiful pass from Zerg. And the goal from Quiescent. From an absolute hold W. Zerg just not giving up. Does even get the demo on Welsh Blondie, leaving Phantom trying to defend an open net, but there is just too much vulnerabilities, and Quiescent capitalizes on them, as Quiescent does get the Goats' third, getting that nice 2-goal cushion back. 90 seconds left into this match, but Dark Phantom open net, but the miss. Sadly, Rejects did have a chance to go, only 1 goal behind again, but is missed by a slimmer of a margin from Phantom, and an absolute powerful pinch of the corner from the Goats. Quiescent just trying to get it down, trying to bring the ball down, trying to make sure the Goats contain possession. Atching trying to bump on Zerg. Zerg is flying over, does get, almost gets a flip reset. Blondie, and Atching says hell no. The pass is left to Atchin, but Atchin left on no boost. Sadly, they cannot capitalize. Welsh Blondie left on 100 boost, but he does win the 50 against Zerg. Quiescent is pressing, trying to get the better out of Rejects, but it does not happen, as in quick succession, Hazard, Zerg, and I believe it's Quiescent just pressing, playing beautifully. The Goats showing why they are the best, well, the best team in this group. Welsh Blondie try not to give up. The Rejects trying not to be rejected from this match. They need to score 2 goals in 30 seconds, but I don't think it will happen, as the Goats are about to score a 4th, but it will not happen as Welsh Blondie does keep it out of the Rejectors' net.
25 seconds left to go then, and Rejects need something now, and then they'll need something even more. But Quiescent with a pass towards Hazard on that backboard, looks for the drop down, the Atto style shot off the backboard, doesn't work out. And Atrin does get a carry forward. There is an opportunity here if they can get the demo across. It's a great save by Zerg. Cleared away. Denies any sort of chance as that ball doesn't get kept up by Hazard. Goats win 3-1 here in this final game. 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 in this final game. 3-0 in the series. They go 9-0 in the group stage. Really setting their foot, setting the scene of what they want to be doing in this tournament. And Rejects, they will be heading into the champ knockout, and I'm pretty sure if Wolfhounds have played against, I think it was Pip Ponies, we will get that score for you and the final group stage results. But to be fair, Rejects, we wrote them off from the start, but they did put a good effort in. They did put in some good graft. It is what it is. You got to move on. You got to look forward to what's to come next week.
I have a little update for you, Daromas. It wasn't Wolfhounds and Pit Ponies, but it was Wolfhounds and the Red Kites, and the Red Kites do get a nice 3-0 series against the Wolfhounds. And as we have just seen, Goats do go 3-0 against the Rejects, and every single game tonight has been 3-0 or 0-3. If you check on the Esports Wales hub on the Welsh Esports League, Rocket League, Season 8, every single team has been 3-0. But something to be talked about is Goats. Do you think Goats are going to go on and win this?
Well, we haven't seen Red Kites today. We haven't seen them today, but that is what the knockout bracket looks like. The semi-finals, you'll have Red Kites up against SEA. I feel like that's going to be a thriller. I feel like that one may be the one to watch. And Goats vs Pit Ponies, I feel like Goats will just storm through that, but whoever comes out on top in the first semi-final will probably give a pretty good challenge to Goats. We saw how SEA performed against Goats, and it was a pretty close series. Yeah, granted it was 3-0. Yes, I know. It was still relatively close in terms of goals scored. Red Kites, I really want to see how they get on. I want to see like the goals per game that they had. We only got the result, and we know that they swept everyone casually. But yeah, looking forward to it. That is the Premier semi-finals, and obviously in the champ finals even, you have got Wolfhounds versus the Rejects. Again, I feel like that one's going to be an entertaining matchup as well. The best of 5, you got the two teams that really struggled to perform today, and to be fair to them, they were in a completely different league in terms of quality, but this will be a chance for either team to shine.
Well said, Daromas. But I do think we may see the Red Kites and the Goats in the final if the bracket does follow through and the Red Kites do stomp the SEA Dragons and the Pit Ponies do fall short of what is an absolute brilliant Goats team. We may even see them in the final. But before we wrap things up, we have a little message from the Goats themselves, and they have said that they are always on the lookout for people to join the Goats. Whether it's content, casting, coaching, or helping behind the scenes, there's always a place for you there. Join the Discord, in our Discord, it will be on the social media tab, or look at their Twitter, and anything else, just message on the Discord, and they'll be there to help you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Welsh Esports League, Rocket League group stage action wrapped up for you. We will have the knockout stages for you this time next week on the 14th of August, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this Rocket League content of the Welsh Esports League, obviously you've got more to come tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. I think, is it Call of Duty tomorrow? Are we playing tomorrow?
I'm not too sure myself, but
Marvel
we
Rivals.
do have word from the
Thank
production.
you, Kashi. You cannot hear Kashi in the background, but this man has been doing brilliant to keep this production running smooth sailing, so credit to him in the background as well. So we will have Marvel Rivals content for you at 7 o'clock tomorrow. This has been the Welsh Esports League Rocket League side of things. I've been Daromas and Welshlaad alongside me. We shall catch you next week.